Hi everyone, the Lone Wolf here, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. Now, there is a little bit of news on the live events front because Dr. Hillen Tukos has resurfaced and has asked the capsuleers for some help in his next project. Now, Hillen Tukos has disappeared for like 3 years, and he's the founder of the Jalan project, which is a research project that is centered around the sleepers. So yeah, very interesting. If you want to join live events, or if you want to know more about live events, check out the live events forums and the Intergalactic Summit forum, and keep an eye on all of that. I do think it means that we might finally have some events coming in the near future. Of course, we are here for the market, and we'll just jump right in here. Plex 840 million. I'll also write down 50 seconds for that, and yeah, that's up another 3 million from last week. So here is the 1 month Plex chart, starting the month at 790, now up to 845, and finally looking like it's going to peak at around that price. Unfortunately, the rise is slow enough that it's already been pulling up the 20-day moving average as high as 820, and so it does look like this could be just a new higher price above 800 million for Plexus. The only thing that I think could change this is the Phoebe release. If that brings in a lot of new players and has like a winter expansion effect, maybe we could see a pullback in Plexus. But yeah, demand for Plexus, it's just so huge, and people are only bringing their Plexus very slowly to the market. A lot of them, and including myself, see this as a protection from inflation, and I think that's just the way this market is ticking at the moment. And unless like maybe a release does something really drastic, I don't think this psychology is going to change anytime soon. So almost 840 for a Plex, pretty damn high, and earlier in the week I see that it actually touched 845. So that's just a lot for Plexus at the moment. We have to work hard to get those free subscriptions in EVE Online at the moment. Let's move on to minerals then, and we'll start off with titanium. I will write down 220 for that. You can see that titanium is actually going up once again after hesitating a little bit for the entire month. So you can see the start here at 548. It went up a little bit, it went down a little bit, almost touched 548 again, but now it's taking off towards 560. So let's have a quick look here. 560 for the sellers, 547 for the buyers, 400 million, 1.2 billion units, another billion units right here. This one, yeah, pretty recent. This one pretty recent as well. It's bigger than the top part of the sell order chart, so I'd say that for some reason demand has picked up once again for titanium, and that means that the price is going up, which is very good for high-sec miners, I think. Let's have a look here at pyrite. What is that one doing? It looks to me like it's going to bounce off the bottom here at 11 ISK, broke that for like maybe a few days, and now it's already heading back up. Let's see how high the price is actually. 1126. Now that's actually interesting, especially if we see 1106 for the buyers as well. When we look at the numbers, I think it's these guys over here, 250, 250, 270 million units. That's a lot bigger than what we see, unless you go for like some guys that are trying at much higher prices for 500 million. So 1126 is actually already up here across the 20-day moving average chart. So that's really interesting. I do think that we're in for a decent bounce in pyrite. 1138, 1140 does look like a price point where people were willing to dump bigger stocks. So that's almost over here, but we could really see a chart heading towards that 1140. The numbers here for pyrite, let me see here, maybe like around 2 billion on average a day. So even a sell order of 500 million that is trying to place a ceiling on the price could actually be snatched up quite high if we see an increased demand for all minerals across the board, or at least all high-sec minerals. Let's have a look at Mexalon then. That could be interesting here as well. Mexalon sluggishly hanging at the 71 price mark here, really very stable for the entire month, but you can see of course from 20-day moving average that it comes off of a pretty steep rise here. 3 months starting at 45, now up to 70. That's not bad. and so the market is just stabilizing here. Let's see a supply demand here. Well, you see a big order here coming in, 15 million, 13 million, 40 million. Still, I'm seeing, look at that, 234 million at 68 ISK. So that's probably, it's not a very recent one, so that is probably putting a floor on Mexalon, and it's probably the reason why it's actually so stable, just above 70 ISK at the moment. Supply is still doing pretty well if I look at the other orders, so I think, yeah, the Mexalon could actually be just holding on at the moment. Let's have a look at Isogen then. Isogen, very similar to Pyrite. Look at that. I was for a second there I thought I had the wrong chart, but no. Also touching 118 and now taking back off. Again, you can see a data point above the 20-day moving average. So let's take a look at what the price actually is. Yeah, 125 for Isogen, 118 for the buyers. It's some decent supply that is coming in, but look at that, 15 million units on the buy order side still. This big buy order and these sell orders are pretty much equivalent, so I would not be surprised if this stops decently soon. I got them actually to drink here for a second. Just some water to keep going. But yeah, very close relation here between the Pyrite chart and the Isogen chart, both of them taking off, putting a data point above the 20-day moving average chart. But in both of these cases, I do think there's a chance that this will just bounce back to like maybe the median of the entire month, like 128, something like that, and then it will actually start to go back down again, because supply does seem to be ample and coming in once the price picks up. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff here. Let's have a look at Noxium next. That one is going down once again, the entire month, starting at 660, now as low as 580, which is 581, which is very low for Noxium in my opinion. For the time that I've been playing EVE Online, I don't think I've actually seen these more expensive minerals this low. So yeah, Noxium 581 down for the entire month. Is there like huge supply? I'm not seeing the huge supply gap or anything like that. Demand though is limited to less than a page. One order of 20 million at 552, which is still substantially lower than the current price. So yeah, I don't know, demand maybe is not really there for these minerals at the moment. Not sure why that would be, because they are so low, but yeah, very low prices at the moment. Let's have a look at Zydrine next. That one is at least trying to maintain its price a little bit. Started the month at 465, went way down to 440, back up to 465, back down to 440, and now it's actually trying to maintain itself at around the 455 price mark. 465 for the sellers, 458 for the buyers. And the numbers here, well, there's still 1 million, 2 million, 4 million. Only 2 million units being bought here, so I'm still seeing a little bit of oversupply in Zydrine here. Let's have a look at Megasite here, still going down. This is absolutely baffling to me. 760, that's extremely low. 757 already for Megasite. We're finally starting to see some buyers here. Look at that, 5 million, 2 million units. That is bigger than the rest. So could 760 finally be the bottom that I personally had called at like 950 or something like that? It's a possibility, because we're only a week out from Phoebe. Maybe that will finally turn things around a little bit, but this yeah, look at the, if you want to look at the Megasite crash, there it is 1 year ago, 1600, managing to maintain that price for the first half of the year, and now crashing down towards 650. That is, oh my god, that's less than half the price. That's huge. That's really a big deflationary impact on those on the economy, because well, it's still a mineral. I know it's the most expensive mineral outside of morphite, but it's still a mineral, so it's still something that's used in pretty much any ship, anything that's being made. You will need Megasite in a lot of it, and so it's quite surprising to see such a crash. This is the morphite 1 month chart here. Pretty much in line with Zydrine, I would say, trying to hold on at the 4,800 price mark. Yeah, 5,000 for the sellers, 4,900 for the buyers. So actually going up a little bit here. Well, no, actually it's pretty much where the chart is. So yeah, I'll just add more fight for those that are interested in that. Let's have a look at the impact on some Tech 1 chips then. 950 for that. Let's just start off with the Caracal here again. It knew a little bit of a spike. Someone bought pretty much any Caracal in Jita, and then supply came right back, and we're back where we were at like 10 million for a Caracal. So that looks okay. Next up, the Dominic's chart here. Yeah, similar situation, I think, a double spike, but it's back where it used to be at like 185 for Dominic's. Although I must say it is the second one that we're seeing. Well, no, actually Caracal is actually holding, so I'm looking for maybe some deflationary stuff because of the Nulsic minerals, but still seems to be holding on okay. 185 for the sellers. It's not like they're such huge numbers that is going to crash anytime soon, I think. Here's the Drake, managing to hold on at 47 million. The variations you're seeing on these charts are actually less than I think what they show, because the margins, this is like 45.5 to 48.5 million. That's like 3 million on a 50 million ship. So it looks more violent than it actually is. This is pretty much a stable Drake. And here is the Talos finally. Knew a little bump up again, but once anything breaks out, we get supply coming in to quell those increases in price. Take advantage of that, and now we're back at the normal price of around 72 million. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, Tech 1 market ever since Christ, I think it's been pretty stable. I think people are well aware of this market. They have the supply, but they're not going to flood the market or anything like that. Moving on to Tech 2 ships, let's take a look at some trade opportunities maybe. 1145, and goddamn, my nose does keep annoying me. It is getting colder here in Belgium, and I gotta make sure that I don't catch a cold so that I can keep going. This is the Absolution chart. Finally a drop off here. That's interesting in my book. It's still pretty high, too high to invest in, but finally a little bit of a drop off, breaking 260. I think that's going to be pretty important. We see some supply coming in, so finally we might see some downward pressure for the Absolution. Let's have a look here at the Astarte. Again, too high, trying to come down, but this one is holding above 310, 300. So yeah, too dangerous to invest in that. Claymore too high as well. Damnation. Well, it showed one opportunity right here, breaking 250, going back up to 270. That's half decent, but it's still holding closer to 260, so I would not invest in that. The Eagle, nice little bump here from 170 to 180, but still looks well within reason, so I don't see that many big opportunities there at the moment. EOS, well, it's been down from 370 to 310, but more than 300 million for a command ship, really? Is that where you want to invest? Personally, I don't think so just yet. So yeah, command ships, I would not go that route just yet. Here is the Guardian. That's what we like to see. Look at that, nice 3 big spikes here, coming down again closer to 135. If it breaks 135, you get buy orders at 131. I think you're in opportunity territory, and you do see that we have spiky behavior in the Guardian in the last 6 months, so that's looking pretty good for some trade opportunities. This is the Hound. Yeah, very nice and low, with again three decent spikes here. So the Hound, you could consider that. If it touches 18 million, you've got buy orders of 18 million. Those I think are decent investments. Here is the Manticore. Ooh, coming down towards 20 million. Buy orders of 19.5. I think there's some money potentially in there. Unless, of course, the overdubs get nerfed into the ground with Phoebe, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. Here is the Nemesis, also pretty low. Also decent spiky behavior for some opportunities. I'm surprised how these stealth bombers are doing okay, I think, for trade ships. Nighthawk again, command ship, way too high. I would not invest in that. Purifier, look at that dive. Look at that dive. That's pretty significant. 16.5 million for a Purifier. Yeah, if someone comes in but buys a big stealth bomber fleet, maybe a Purifier fleet, this could actually be pretty good, and an opportunity in all covered up stealth bombers. Interesting stuff. Here's the Scimitar, again showing that nice spiky behavior. Here a big spike, here a little bit of a sustained spike, but a pretty big crash below 140. And again here, short double spike to 175 and now back down to 140. In fact, 143 for the sellers, 140 for the buyers. People do know, I think, at what price to pick them up, but I think when you see a chart like this, you can actually try and make a move, maybe even invest in a few of those sell orders and wait for the next one. But it's nice to see the spiky behavior coming back to the Tech 2 logistics. It's something I was checking for a long time, but then they really slowed down when the new Tech 1 logistics came in. And now it's nice to see that it's actually back a little bit. This is the Sleipnir. The chart looks a lot better than the other command ships, but you can see that we actually had a trigger below 230 before, and it's still a long way before we're there. And this is the Vulture chart. This is more interesting. The only command ships that I think could come into interesting buy order territory is the Vulture, because that one is once again at the price point it was 6 months ago. So yeah, Tech 2, I would say look to the stealth bombers, look to those Tech 2 logistics cruisers if you want some actual opportunities. Moving on to Tech 3 ships then, 1605. Let's have a look at these here. Legion managing to maintain 135, actually look at that, 134 for the sellers. So I do think we're going to go back into the dynamic of oversupply. There's decent buy order here that's probably propping it up just a little bit, but there are still no Tech 3 changes announced, at least not for the Tech 3 cruisers, and so I do think that we're going to go back into a slow downtrend for these ships. This is the Loki chart at 6 months, actually taking off. Yeah, actually taking off, but only going to 135, so maybe Loki is like normalizing the situation a little bit. This is the Proteus 137, pretty much stable. What about supply demand here? 25.54, 31123. There is a 24 buy order at 132 though, so that's already a million less than the other buy orders. So yeah, I think oversupply, it's still here. This is the Tengu 140, and it's actually starting to rain now, god damn it. Trying to hold on, but again, look at that, 7.4, 6.10.10. That's just oversupplied, and it's going to start going down once again unless CCP announces some changes to these ships, I think. And then finally, for the extra product, I'm going to try and touch on Tech 3 materials. So let's say 1735 for that. The problem is I don't really know these that well. Now, the first race that is going to unlock these Tech 3 destroyers are the MR. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take the Legion blueprint. I'm going to go for, let's see, required input materials, and I'm going to check these out. I think, since I don't know this process and I don't know these materials, I think this could be the best way to go. And yeah, let's check these Legion components out. And here is the market for emergent neurovisual interface. And yeah, now how am I going to go and tap back in and out of this? I think I could go by putting them below, then reactivating my market. I need to see how I'm gonna do this. All right, let's have a look here at the price chart. This is the 1 month chart, maybe a 3 month chart to have a little bit more of a look. This actually looks pretty much like a stable situation. Current price 18 million, nothing too drastic here. It's also not something that's that ample on the market here. Okay, 4 fullerene interlaced sheets. Let's have a look at that. 9 million, 9.2 million for the seller's price. It's up a little bit on the 6 months, but I'm not seeing a huge move on this one. Let's see here. Metallofullerene platings. Again, this feels like pretty much a normal 6 month chart, so I wouldn't say that that's overly dramatic. A neurovisual analyzer. That knew a little bit of a spike here, but if I go for the 1 month chart, I think you'll see that it's this may be close to the announcement, but I don't really think it is. So maybe this little spike here in data points, but it's already normalizing right back. It's empty though. The market is empty of this one. Someone is selling a single one at 34 million. That is actually interesting, that almost no one is selling this stuff. Nanowire composite, again here, I don't see like a big reaction to the Tech 3 destroyer. Let's see, Jesus Christ, ferrocene power conduits. Jesus Christ, CCP, how am I supposed to pronounce that? But again, a chart that's not moving drastically or showing a big response to the Tech 3 announcement that was made. So I do think part of this is that a lot of the Tech 3 manufacturing, in my opinion, happens within wormhole space. So I don't think that it's traded that much or that actively as like a Tech 1 market, Tech 1 chips, which is much more accessible. So I think that could be part of it. I'm not sure. I don't see a big move, a big reply to these Tech 3 destroyers that have been announced. And if it would have shown, I think it would have shown in like the Legion materials, because that's the closest we have to knowing what's actually going to be required to produce these Tech 3 destroyers. And since the MR unlocked them first, I would say this is the most likely place to go and look. But I may be completely wrong on that, so if you think this was wrong, make sure to post your analysis of the Tech 3 components and materials market when it comes to the announcement of these Tech 3 destroyers. I'm curious to know your opinion about that. I just try to analyze it myself, but I'm not seeing any reactions personally. Anyways, that's it for this EVE Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.